The importance of being active and competing. The first thing that comes to mind is health. Health is everything. It's what keeps you young and keeps you full of energy. It lets your body output more into the world. Next would be your mental wellness. Being more active just stimulates more in your mind and also for your body. Getting outside and taking in the sun, touching grass, seeing more in the world, it overall will help your mental well being. Also, there's the social aspect. When you're competing, sometimes you're competing with other people. And even if you're competing with yourself in the actual world, you will be around other people. So, that being active will help your mental health and also your health. And it doesn't matter what you do with being active. You don't have to be a sports star or a bodybuilder or anything like that. Just being active, it doesn't matter if you're just walking around every day. If you just go for a mile walk, that is being active. Getting outside, moving those joints around, because the older that you get, the more that your body will shut down. Because if you don't use it, you will lose it. And that active portion means so much, especially when you get older. When you're 60, 80, 70 years old, if you stop your body, if you stop moving your body, then you will slowly just get older and older with time. There's people that you see that are 80 years old and they look like they're full of life. They're walking around and doing great things. And then you see guys that are like 50 years old and they look like those 80-year-olds. It's because they don't have that active life. It's because they stopped competing in life. They stopped wanting things. They stopped trying to get their body to do more. Your body itself is the best machine in the world. There is nothing in the world more powerful and more amazing than your actual body, and people take it for granted. They throw a bunch of shit into it and they don't take care of their bodies, and they're no longer healthy. They aren't healthy people. And the social aspect is great. Like competing by yourself and trying to get better through yourself is amazing. But if you add that social aspect into it, not only is it great to be around other people and socialize with other people and meet other people, it is just, it will make you better. Like competing by yourself, you can get awesome gains and you can become better at your craft and your hobby and your skill. But once you start putting yourself up against other people, that will also make you better. It doesn't matter if it's for competing or just for health. Because if you are doing everything by yourself, it could be great, but you add other people in it and that can multiply for sure. Competing is essential for men, 100%. You don't have to compete, but once you do, it's like a biological urge that we have to compete, to try to be better, to be around other people, and it's a little validation for sure, 100%. Like competing, you do get that validation, and when you're competing with yourself, you still get it. Like you don't need it from other people, but that social aspect, you can't knock it for sure. And health in 2024 and the last 20 years, it's like winning, right? It's like now there is no one winner. There's no special people. We're all special, and that's just horse shit. Like you shouldn't go out there and it's like, oh, I did this. Like that's why I don't like all those Spartan races and all those bubble runs and even marathons and stuff. Like everyone gets a medal for marathons. Like so you're paying for a medal to make you feel what? Like, no, you should be competing to be the best to actually place. Like, it should be a competition to win something, not you do this and no matter how well you do, you get rewarded for it. Like, that's not what competition is. And even if you've never win your whole life and then you win that one time and you're competing constantly and you're working hard and for years and years and years and maybe 10 years you never win a single medal and then you actually deserve it, say you place like top 10 or top 3 or whatever skill or craft that you're in, that actually means a hell of a lot more than paying $100, like getting last and still getting the medal. It is crazy. The competing now is just fun. It's just like, oh, it's just fun. Like go out there and do something where there's actually a winner and a loser. Like that's when that competing, that drive, that's what pushes you. Go out there and lose a bunch until you get better. That's competing. It's not this fake competing that we have now. And when it comes to yourself, like That's why you have to write things down and actually see if there's progress. And with progress, you need that those goals. You need to see what you want and find out what you want. Because a lot of people, when it comes to competing, it's like, well, I don't know what I should compete in. It's like, go out there and you know what your interests are. So just find what those interests are, and it doesn't have to be a competition. It could just be a skill, like going out and I always think about like surfing or diving. Like learn that, and it's a competition with yourself to see if you can actually do it. Because when you go out there and do real life stuff like that, it's either you can do it or you can't, and you'll get better, and you'll fail most likely at the beginning, but then you will learn that skill, and you will get that competing aspect from it, from trying something that you could not do at the beginning, going out there into the actual real world, getting help from these other people that you want to learn from. And that's that social aspect again. That's that mental wellness again that you get from doing this. You don't have to be a bodybuilder, and you don't have to be a sports star. Think about all the people that you know in high school that played sports. And they loved it. Like it was their dream, it was their love. And then all of a sudden they become 19 and it's done, and they never pick up a ball again, they never throw again, they never go out there and compete ever again. It's the saddest thing, and it's such an American thing. You go to other countries and people are still competing in old age. It's the way it should be. And it's great. I don't know why in America here, where after you get out of high school you're just done and you just never touch the sport or the trade or the craft that you loved when you were a kid. It's like, why can't you do it now? Like you should. And that's why a lot of us, that's why America's obese right there, is a number one reason why America is the fattest nation in the world, is because we think after 18 years old that you die or you're supposed to get old. Or it's like, oh, my back, I would do that, but my back, it's like, come on. No. Even if you are out of shape or you're hurt or you're fat, you should lose all that and compete again. Be that kid. Like you should go on living. Only in America, I believe, is where people just stop living. It's like, oh well, I'm old now, so I should do X, Y, Z. It's such horse shit. Working out and being physically in shape is something that no one can take from you. When you get out there and you're able to do that skill, no one can take that from you. It doesn't matter how rich they are, it doesn't matter how much clout they have. It's something that no one can take from you. And that's why it's so important to do. Because if all else fails, you have that one thing that you do, that you are actively doing, that other people can't do. It doesn't matter how much money they pay or how much they want it. It's all up to you for how much you put into it, how active you are in it, how much you compete in that thing. Like that is so special that no one can take that from you. Doesn't matter how much shit people talk, no one can take that from you. There are people that think they're so successful and so great and all this, and they just look like horrible, like pieces of shit, like fat, lazy people that pour into one thing because they think that being active doesn't matter, or they just don't have any skills because it's something that takes hard work and it's a consistent thing. It's not like, oh, I'm going to pick this up just for a year. It's like, no, it's something you have to stay in for a long time or put a lot of hours into. No one can take it from you. No one can buy it. No one can just magically it be given to them. There are talented people, yes, but talent only goes so far. You have to find some sport or hobby that you can actively get in there and start, or a body type that you want and actively go towards that. It's not just I want this. It's like, no, you have to go in there and do the research. And that's when the research and the active and being active go hand in hand. So it's not just being active, it's actually going out there and actively pursuing people that you want to be like, or actively understanding what you have to do to get that body type, to understand that trade. So you have to study up, find a person that you want to compete like or look like, and get those goals set. And every day, every month, every year, there's little milestones that you have to hit, and that keeps you consistent. That keeps you on the right track. And all it's like good distractions. I always talk about bad distractions. This is a very good distraction to have, because even if it's something that doesn't pertain to making your life better financially or socially, It's something that will distract you in a healthy way to become better. It's it's the easiest and the hardest thing to do, to be active, because it's like, oh, it's something that you could do right now, right this second, or it's something that you could do tomorrow or the next week or the next month. That's why it's so easy and so hard, because you could do it right now, but are you just going to procrastinate like probably you've done for the last 5 years, 10 years? Who knows? So simply being active and competing will keep you young. It will energize you and it will keep you happy. 100% it will keep you happy. Something that you are competent in, that is an activity that you can do with other people or outside, something that you probably love to do. It's one of the most special and important things that you will do in your life.